how you price your agency retainers will literally make or break your agency or freelance business. If you under quote in the initial phases and then don't have a plan to increase that retainer over time, then it'll put more and more pressure on your ability to service the client, but also to make a profit. The profit obviously comes from the difference between what you charge and how much it costs you to deliver the work. Now, I've put together this really simple tool that you can use, and I'm going to walk you through that now. The first thing to do is make sure that you copy this over, otherwise you won't actually be able to edit it. So just hit file and then make a copy, and then you can edit it as you wish. The first sheet here is the master sheet. Now, this is just a really simple project management slash retainer mapping tool in terms of price. So what it draws from an hourly basis is down here where you've got your resources, the cost, so how much it costs you, and then how much you charge out to the client. So the difference between that is going to be where your profit is. Now, generally, most agencies will charge out at around $200 an hour. It's an important thing to note because you want to be in the range of what other people are quoting, but you also really want to take stock of, what it's costing you as a business. Are you paying rent, for an office premises? Do you have lots of other overheads? You really need to sit down and work out what that operating cost is to you. And then you can obviously work out what your profit is. Now, at the end, there is a profit calculator. This will help to work out what those overheads are and what the other costs are in the business. You just go through and you've got your payroll, obviously, which you need to keep relatively low. Then you've got your contractors, so on top of people that you're employing full time. Then you have your marketing costs, so how much are you budgeting for marketing, and then general and admin, and then subscriptions. And of course, the final one is profit. You really want 20% or above, ideally sitting up at 30% if you can get it. This is where you'll establish what that is. Coming back to the master again, how much it's going to cost you for each of these resources will really depend on what you can find out there as a good resource. This sheet here gives you an idea of industry costs. And so what each role is currently charging out. Now, this is the high range and this is the low. This is client side. So this is currently what these sorts of roles charge if they're directly going to clients. This isn't what you would charge in your agency out to clients, but this is what a particular, say, a senior strategist will generally charge directly to a client. This is agency side. So this is what the same role would generally charge directly to an agency. It should be lower because obviously the agency is taking all the risk of working with the client and also all the account management as well. And this is salary. So this is the expectations generally around these particular roles from a salary perspective. This is the high range and then the low range and then the hourly rates as well. In here, we've got the agency pricing models. So there's 4 general models that people use, and some of these are quite similar. So you've got your hourly rate. So this is time-based, which is what I've put into this particular guide. Then you've got project-based. So obviously, this is where you would charge based on one particular project. Generally, again, it will be time-based. Then you've got your retainer model. So this is just an ongoing fee that they pay per month. And again, you would need to obviously map out what that's going to cost you from an hourly perspective, but you likely won't be telling the client what that is. So generally you would say this is the fee for running, let's say, Facebook ads, it's 5K, but you wouldn't map out to them and say we're going to do X amount of hours, but you would certainly internally map out what those hours look like. So going back to the master sheet, what you would do is let's say you've got a 5K Facebook ads retainer, you would map out all of the particular tasks that would happen each month. Obviously, that would include creative, running ads, optimization, weekly meetings, and reporting. So you map all of those out and put the hours into each of these roles, and also map out what the cost is per resource, and that will give you roughly what the cost is going to be and what profit you have if you're adding what the total charge would be. In our agency, what we do is we map this out for every client. We actually use Monday to manage this, but this sheet is also very helpful as well if you don't have a tool like Monday. Your staff capacity is just where you can map out all the different clients and the hours per role. And then it will give you the total hours used and the available hours. This is really important in terms of making sure that you're not over capacity and people aren't working over capacity. And it gives you an idea, if you are looking at bringing on a new client, what that would mean to the overall business, and if you do need more resources to cover that particular new client.